Good evening. Just sitting here thinking about things, amusing myself. But anyways, Ben here from Common Sense Survival, and I want to discuss here real quick. I'm going to be as quick as I can about the best fire starting uh, items that you can carry with you. And I was thinking, I was saying to myself, the best firefighting, starting. So I was laughing about. But we don't want to need to call any firefighters when we're done making our fire. Always, when you're dealing with a fire, campfire, demonstrational fires, or whatever the case may be, campground or out in the woods, or if you're in a serious situation, always be very, very safety conscious, because we all know it can go wrong very, very quickly, and we don't want any part of that. So always remember to be safe and responsible. When you leave a fire pit, make sure it's dead. Make sure you put water on it, or make sure that that if the wind starts blowing real hard, it's not going to burn half the state down. So anyway, this video is going out to David Watson II. Good evening, David. And I just don't type a lot, and trying to have a conversation there about a Q&A a little bit there, question and answer about fire starting utensils, we'll call it. And he mentioned that he has one of these, magnesium fire starter. I have several. I always keep one here in a package just for demonstrations. Oh, excuse me. They're very inexpensive. They work. But how do I put it? Not my first choice anymore. It was back in the day, and I think I still have my original magnesium fire starter. And yes, they do work. Yes, there is a technique to it. And if that's all you have, that's great. You have something. My first line of fire starting is a magnesium ferro rod, like this custom one here. Okay, 1/2-inch ferro rod with a hickory handle, and a tool steel hardened striker. Now this is my actual fire lighter for my wood stove. I went out in the other room. I've had this for several years, and this jar of cotton balls stays out by my wood stove all the time. Okay, this is my fail-safe kind of preferred method of fire starting, rather than even over fat wood. Cotton is probably the best. Pure cotton with a little bit of Vaseline. And I carry fire with me all the time. And here a while back, I actually developed this. This is a chunk of fat wood that I harvested when I was out on a hike one day. It has a tool steel striker here, and I epoxied in a 5/16 ferrocenium rod. So I have true tinder. I have a good heavy duty ferrocenium rod there, and I have a quality striker. But even this, in real windy conditions, you're gonna fight it. And you can get some pretty good heavy duty shavings off of this. And Dave talked about using a file on the magnesium block, and that could be almost even more of a nightmare in windy conditions, just due to the fact that those shavings are so fine that wind, it just catches it, and trust me, I've been there. And that is why I personally choose a cotton ball with a little dab of Vaseline. You have the cotton will ignite instantly with a ferrocenium rod, and that little bit of Vaseline, that petroleum, is going to give you some time to get your tinder on there and get your fire going. It's also going to give you that cotton ball with the Vaseline. It's going to have a little bit of weight to it, so and mass. It's going to be the size, the size of your thumb. In fact, here's my little container. It's an old cornstarch container, and I also use these little aspirin containers. Those are real heavy-duty plastic. I find them to be terrific for storing and carrying in my packs. Mainly this one. This goes into my bigger kits, but pack this thing right full of cotton balls and Vaseline, and just for the ease of removal here. Okay, I got one big one here, or maybe two, but it's just one big cotton ball. So you've got some mass there. You've got a little bit of weight with the Vaseline, and even in a windy condition, you get tucked down as best you can. You got your tinder ready, blah blah blah. Maybe you get a little bit of a windscreen going. You hit this thing with a ferro rod, it's going to go up instantly into flame. You will have an instant flame. Where with the magnesium, you get a fizzle, and you better catch it quick. Hopefully you've got some birch bark there, or some other very dry grass and that sort of thing. But you don't have that petroleum that really just wicks, the cotton wicks that up into it just like a candle, and will burn for several minutes, even in windy conditions. I have found that this method, and once again, you do need to kind of keep that dry, like any other type of tinder. The magnesium is a little bit more waterproof, and the fatwood is a little bit more waterproof. But as far as sustaining a flame, to give you that chance to create that entity of the fire, to maybe fight off hypothermia, cook that quick meal, to warm yourself. Maybe you got maybe it's a very bad conditions, or maybe it's a signal fire that you are creating. There's many different situations to start a fire. To cook your food, or a signal fire, like I said. So it is my opinion that the cotton balls with the petroleum jelly is probably one of the best that you can carry with you, and that is why, because it has the mass and it has the potential for a little bit more of a longevity of a flame rather than just a fizzle of the magnesium block. And in fact, I spoke to a couple different people here on a couple of different videos that I carry fire with me all the time. I do have a kit in my Jeep. My wife has a kit in her car, and I've got all kinds of stuff here in the house that I play around with and try to improve on all the time. But let me just show you. And I didn't set this up. I carry this with me all the time. In fact, here's my lunch pail. I keep this kit in my lunch pail all the time. I've got a little blade on there, custom fire steel, flint and steel, fat wood. I've got flint in there and other forms of tinder. That's in my lunch pail that I carry with me at work every day. In my jacket right here. Got 2 inside pockets. See, I've got, hang on, bear with me. I have the Mora Eldris. I have a flint and steel, a ferro rod, striker, piece of fat wood, all tied together. There's my kit. And here, I picked up some of these little Ziplocs at a flea market. Guy was selling a bunch of different stuff there. Cotton balls with Vaseline. And I carry this with me all the time. Just because, number one, I drive through a very bad neighborhood on the way to and from work. But something could happen at work. I have stuff in my toolbox also. I surround myself. I'm a Sagittarius. Fire is my element. So anyway, this is my preferred form of fire making. It's almost foolproof and almost waterproof. So think about it. And you know what? I'll be honest with you about something else here real quick. If this is what you are proficient at, then that should be your preferred and most proficient way of making fire. This is mine. But if you're comfortable with this and you're sure that if you're out in almost any situation, hey, this will fit in your pocket just as easy. And this is just my opinion. So remember that. Your preferred fire making is best for you. And at one time that was mine. But I've evolved with it and have come up with this system with a good knife with a 90-degree spine also that I can strike with. This is just an excellent combination and a very inexpensive combination. Very, very affordable. So anyway, Sven here from Common Sense Survival. I hope you found this a little bit informative tonight. And Dave Watson there, practice makes perfect, man. Keep your skills sharp, and whatever you're comfortable with, just remember that you need to carry one of those with you. Carry one in your car, wherever you go. Throw one in your pocket, and you'll have that sense of knowing that you're prepared. I'm an old Boy Scout too, be prepared was the Boy Scout motto. I haven't forgotten that. Sven here from Common Sense Survival. I'm going to shut up and get out of here and go have the rest of my evening. Good night.